everybody, it's Tyler Austin. Thank you so much for watching. So in this video, I'm just going to do something real quick and give a 100-yard accuracy test with this AKP from Palmetto State Armory, 7.62 by 39, obviously. I've shot it at 100 yards before. It's done just fine, but I've never really done like I guess you could say like an MOA test at 100 yards. So I thought that'd make for a quick, interesting video for you guys who have been kind of following this little AKP project that I've been doing. Now, with that being said, obviously, just by looking at this thing, and if you've been watching my videos, this is not a stock AKP. The biggest thing that's going to potentially change the accuracy on it from it being stock is going to be the free floated rail that I have on it. This is an SLR Rifle Works free floated handguard that's specifically designed for the AKP. So with it being free floated, I am probably going to see a little bit better accuracy than what you would get out of the box AKP. Obviously has a standard handguards on it and so forth that are not free floated. So like I said, I should see slightly better accuracy with the free floated handguard from, again, SLR Rifle Works. Other than that, there's nothing really else other than like the attachments and stuff like that. In terms of the trigger is stock, although I did polish it, so it is quite a bit smoother, and it's actually a very nice trigger for just being a stock trigger after my polishing job on it, obviously. So nothing really fancy with the trigger. Just using a basic red dot sight. This is just a basic Holosun red dot, so again, nothing special there. So yeah, red dot at 100 yards. We'll see what the MOA is on this roughly. In terms of ammo, I'm shooting nothing special. I'm just going to be using standard Red Army standard white box, so it's not even necessarily their premium ammo, which I believe is their red box. It's just their basic white box stuff, so again, nothing crazy here. It's 122 grain. I did zero this at 25 yards with 124 grain, so I'm interested to see what the difference, the shift, and point of impact difference will be with 122 grain. So that should be interesting. I don't expect it to be all that much, to be honest. Now, with that being said, I did zero this at 25 yards. And out of which this is a 10.5-inch barrel, so obviously it's technically a pistol. So again, I zeroed this gun at 25 yards with the red dot, obviously. So at 100 yards, I should be shooting 2 or 3 inches high. So again, I'm going to be aiming at this black circle here, which is about 2 inches in diameter. So I should be at 100 yards shooting about 2, maybe 3 inches high. So I should be hitting up and around here roughly. So yeah. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get to the 100 yards and see how this thing does. All right, so this is what we got at 100 yards. Unfortunately, I lost audio for some reason when I was shooting the group, so you're gonna have to kind of repeat what I said there. So obviously, like I said in the beginning, 10.5-inch AKP, 7.62 by 39, shooting 122 grain Red Army standard white box. So these shot quite a bit higher than I expected them to. Now, looking at this, I'm curious as to why it shot so high, because I expected more to land right around here. This is about 5 inches high rather than about 2, maybe 3 inches high. At first I thought it was just the ammo that was doing that. However, I've noticed this before too when I was just shooting it, not for like necessarily like pure accuracy, but when I was running drills and stuff, that it shot a little higher than I expected. I thought it was just maybe me. However, what I think I did, what I forgot to calculate in when I zeroed the gun was the height over bore. Typically, the height over bore when you're running irons is like 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. This with the red dot, because the red dot sits pretty high, which I prefer, is about a 3-inch offset, which definitely changes your point of aim, point of impact. So I actually think that is why. So I'm going to have to go back and recalculate for that. But regardless, he shot about 5 inches high, but still good hits on target. 2 of these rounds right here, fantastic. And then we had this one flyer over here. I think that was personally just me. Again, I'm shooting just from the prone with just a slight bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's not a very secured position. It's not like I have the gun in like a vise, right? So I'm just shooting off a prone, off a you know, off a bag. And also, again, I'm shooting with the red dot. So the red dot covers literally this entire dot here. But either way, I mean, still pretty good accuracy out of, you know, prone from 100 yards. I'm going to do a few more groups and see if I can do a little bit better. I would really like that third round to hit, you know, closer to around here. But I'm really happy with those 2 rounds right there. Again, I'm just going, I believe that was more me than it was the gun. So let's go ahead and shoot a few more groups and let's see what I get. All right, so this is group number 2, again at 100 yards. All right, and this is going to be group number 3. All right, let's go check that out. All right, so I just got done shooting 2 more groups. My second group, about the same as the first. I had 2 that were really close together. It was these 2 right here, that one and that one, the one on the bottom. That top one was from my first group. So these 2 right here, and then I had one that was my third one right there. So about the same. Again, it could be the ammo. Again, this is not like the greatest ammo in the world, right? It's just steel case, Red Army standard, not match grade or anything like that. But still, I thought it was probably me because again, this is a red dot at 100 yards, so my dot takes up literally this entire circle here. So you know, this would be a lot easier with a magnified optic in terms of like, you know, MOA testing, if you will, because you're able to put your reticle exactly where it was last time, right? So you get a lot more precision there where you want to aim. When you're using a dot, which takes up the entire, you know, this entire circle, you're kind of, it's more or less kind of a guessing game if you're on exactly where you're aiming last time. You know, because again, it takes up the entire dot. But for my third group, I really slowed down and tried to, you know, really get that dot exactly where it was last time, or at least to the best that I can at 100 yards. And this was my third group right here, this beautiful string right here. So I don't know the numbers, but you know, 1, 2, 3 right there. Phenomenal. I mean, you can't really ask for any better than that. Even out of a, you know, that would be really good even out of an AR at 100 yards. You know, center to center, that's about an inch. You know, maybe even a touch more. But I mean, if I was doing this, I should have brought a ruler, but I forgot to do that. Regardless, you can see it. So I mean, again, from center to center on these 3 rounds, that's about an inch. I mean, that's really damn good out of a 10.5-inch AK at 100 yards. Really good. So I can't complain about that whatsoever. So yeah, so that's, you know, AKP 10.5-inch barrel, 100 yards, 7.62 by 39, again, 122 grain, Red Army standard. Hope you found this video at least entertaining, if not helpful. I'm a big fan of this AKP. This thing's been running great, and I was just kind of curious, and I thought you guys would be curious too how well this thing does at 100 yards. And you know, even the first 2 groups with the 1 flyer still wasn't bad at all, particularly in like a not terribly supported position that I was in. But that third group, fantastic. again, you can't really complain about that. Again, remember, I do have a free-flowed barrel on this, so it will definitely help beyond just what you would get out of the box with just the handrails that aren't free-flowed. So again, be aware of that. This isn't a stock AKP. So, you know, if you get one out of the box, you might not be able to expect that unless you free float the handguard. So just be aware of that. Anyways, again, I hope you found this video helpful and informative, or at least entertaining. Thank you so much for watching.